Hello, I am Ashley D. Love, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, I have showed you how to create a t-shirt flat. So today, I am going to show you all how to create a flat of a button-down shirt. So, let me go ahead and share my screen. So, as you can see, I have my template up, and this is the Missy template that I told you about the last time we did the recording. And I am zooming in. And so we are going to start at the neckline like so. And also you want to make sure that you don't have this too high. And then also, just like I said before, make sure your fill is not on, that the stroke is the only thing that you see. And so we are making our collar and then our straight line. And I like to use this template to create t-shirt, any type of shirt, really, like shirts, pants. This is my go-to. But there is another template. Actually, there are several templates that you can use where it shows the sleeve bent. So if you are trying to get a job in the industry, you may have to show that. I will show that on the next video. But as of today, if you just want to do just straight, sleeve straight, then this is how we're going to do it. So I'm zooming in, like I said, making sure everything's straight. And I don't know if I told you all about this the last time, but when you are creating a t-shirt flat, well, any type of flat, you don't want to make it, you don't want to make the clothes look worn. The purpose is to make it look like it's laying flat on a surface. But I know that there are some companies that like to give that worn look, but you really won't see any curves or any like wear marks on them unless someone purchases them. Then that's when you'll see kind of a silhouette. So what I am creating now, I am creating the cuff. So like the last time, I am working on the silhouette. And I don't know why my nose is itching. And so, and like the last time I told you all, you want the clothes to sit on top of the body. So now we are doing the outside, and I'm just going to give kind of like a little waistline curve, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. And like I said the last time, I use a lot of quick keys, so if you don't want to go to edit, undo, you could just press Control Z if you have a PC, or Command Z if you have a Mac. Again, Control Z if you have a PC, Command Z if you have a Mac. That will undo everything. Well, that will undo the last thing that you just did. Okay, so putting this last touch, and I'm just going to make this shirt kind of long. Okay, so once we have the silhouette, I'm going to zoom out so you can see the whole silhouette. So once you see the silhouette, then that's when you can add your inside details. So we are going to start, actually, this collar. And we can fix this once we get finished with everything. I just want to make sure. I'm just going to make a little slight curve. And I'm using my direct selection tool to bring this up some more, so it will actually look like a collar. And then I am going to add like 2 little lines under here, because this is our neck stand. And then I'm going to zoom in to extend that some more. Okay, so now that we have our color out of the way, and I honestly feel that I need to drop this down some. So, and once you get used to it, you will do certain things like this. You'll kind of play with certain things to make sure it looks okay. Okay, that looks a little better. And then, of course, I have to fix that and bring that in some. And then bring this, because you don't want it to extend over your lines. So this looks slightly better. Okay, there it is. This looks better. Okay, so now that we have the neck stand, we are going to add our armhole seam. Some armhole seams that have the line here, others, and I'm just going to show you on here, others may have it here. Just depends. Okay. Then we are going to add our seam for our cuff. And one thing that I like to do, I like to add this little button extension. Basically, it's like a little flap that you can do to hide the buttons. Whoa, what just happened? Okay, there it is. Oh, thank the Lord. Okay. So I'm using the direct selection tool and clicking on that line, and then while holding down the shift key, I made another straight line. So And then if you want to add like a breast dart, you can do that as well. We can really add it right here. Because on some shirts you do see that. Some shirts don't have it, but we're just going to add that in anyway. And one thing that I like to show, you can change the shape of your line. So you can go to this basic bar right here, just like the last time when we pulled in the stitch lines and the other loopers. You can go on here, go to the brush definition, to the basic. Once you drop down, you'll see all of these different lines. And then as you can see, all the lines that we used, they're still here. But it's not this one. It's this one. This is the one that I'm looking for. This one is called the variable width profile. So you'll have uniform and basic. We're going to go to the uniform. And you can change the shape of your line. So here are all the width profiles, variable width profiles. So here are the different width profiles, and you can change. And as you can see, it changed the direction of and the shape of your line. So this is something else that you could do. So and then we cannot forget about our hem. And then we may have to add, I know we're going to have to copy this line because of course we have to have a line for our stitch lines. And then we are going to copy this line at the bottom. For our hem. And then like before, we are going to stop like right at this edge. And then take the line that we just created. And this time we're going to leave this as a single stitch because with a lot of button down shirts, they have like a rolled hem. And we are going to extend that line. And just like before, we are going to change from our shaper tool to our smooth tool. And we are going to select the line that we just created and smooth that out. And I feel that we should do the same thing for this sleeve, actually for both sides of the sleeves. So we're going to smooth out both sides of the sleeves. We're going to smooth out the sides of the shirt silhouette. And another thing that we are going to do, so this line that we have for our collar, we are going to copy that and then take our white arrow, which again, the direct selection tool, and we are going to fix it. So I'm adding all of these extra lines because these are going to be our stitch lines. So what I like to do, I like to just copy those stitch lines. And of course, like all of this is going to be bent because I'm sorry. When I look at this, I think of the construction. And that is something that you will have to take in mind, is the construction of a lot of the stuff that you create. So I'm looking at this and I'm making sure that it is created just right, and to see if there's anything that I need to fix on here. And I feel that I need to add another line back here for our understitch. I'm going to move this over. Okay, all right. And also with our buttonhole, I feel like I need to move this over. So I'm going to move this over here. And then I'm going to change it from the direct selection to our selection tool. And then, wow, holding down the Alt key, just drag to copy that line. And then we can place it over. So what we are going to do next is, using our while pressing down our shift key, we are going to select every line that we know is going to be our stitch line. And since we already have a single stitch line right here, we could change that. And then we're going to change this from 1 point to 0.5. Actually, I kind of like it at 0.25. We're going to make this 0.25. But just like I said the last time, if you don't have anything, then you can just go to the stroke, and I'm going to go through that process again. And I'm just going to create a line. So let's just say you want to change this line into a stitch line. So you will change it to 0.25, which it was already changed. You will change the cap from butt cap to round. And then our dash line, as you can see, it is automatically 12. You want to change that. So you want the dash to be 2, the gap to be 1. And that is how you create the stitch lines. And then I forgot we have this stitch right here. We are going to change that to 0.25. This is going to be changed. This one looks funny. This is a long stitch. Okay. All right, that looks very odd. I feel that I need to just change that. There, now it looks better. Okay, now everything looks all uniformed. So as you can see, now everything looks like normal. And then we have our dart. And I'm just looking over everything. Everything seems to be okay. Once we have everything in place, then we can select this whole side. And then we are going to press the Alt key and drag to copy it. Then we're going to right click, go to transform, reflect. Everything is vertical. The angle is 90 degrees. It is already in preview, and we're just going to press OK. And we're going to move this over because we want everything to be even. And again, like I said, we're doing this to make it even so we'll be able to join it. So we're going to change this from the smooth tool, from the smooth tool to the join tool. And so we're going to join this. Now I am nervous about this line because it's not as close as it should be. So I'm really hoping that it joins. Yes, it did. Oh, thank the Lord. Okay. And then we are going to join the rest of these. And sometimes you may have to kind of shift these over. Just to make it even. Okay. And like I said, I'm using the selection tool and the join tool to make sure that these are joined together. Now, if you look, we're going to zoom in here. You see this hump. Of course, you do not want that right there. So what you're going to do, select that line and then select from the join tool to the smooth tool to smooth this out. And of course, because this line is like that, and I noticed that when you smooth stuff out, if you zoom out, it smooths better. So because this line was copied to make this, we already know all of these we're going to be smoothing out. So let's continue to join, and all of this is joined. And then we're going to zoom out. And select this. Okay, so all of our lines are joined. So now we are going to go through the process of smoothing these lines out. And I just feel I need to zoom out. So we're going to zoom back in. So we have already smoothed out this top line. We're going to go back out. We're going to change this from join tool to smooth tool. Smooth all this out. Smooth all this out. So now these bottom ones aren't bad. Okay. And we are going to smooth out these top lines as well. This is starting to look better. Okay. So we need to smooth this. So we're going to change. So I thought I smoothed that out, but apparently I didn't. Now this is smooth. I mean, now this is joined. So now we're about to smooth it. Okay. All right. And sometimes I just like to just, for some reason, just go back in my chair and look at the work to see if everything looks good. Everything does. So now the last two things that we have to smooth is this bottom part of the hem. So we are going to smooth out this rolled hem portion. And then we're going to smooth out this hem. Okay. So everything looks good. Everything is joined together. Everything seems to be in place. So now the next thing that we will do, highlight the shirt. And then while holding down Shift key, you're just gonna deselect the silhouette. So only the inside details are highlighted. Then we're gonna right click, arrange, and then select bring to front. So then we're gonna go back, select the silhouette, and we are going to change the color. And for some reason, I'm just going to put a straight line down this middle part, just right here. It just makes sense to do that. Okay, so, and you know, the funny thing is, I really feel like moving this down, but I'm just going to leave it like so. And I feel like I need to extend this right here. Okay, so everything looks good. So now the last thing, or the last two things that we need to do is add our shadow. So like before, we're gonna select this top line, move it up, and then we are going to just copy this back portion. Just make sure it looks good. Okay, so this is selected. We are going to fill this in, and instead of selecting the eyedropper tool, I'm gonna press I on my keypad. This basically turns it into an eyedropper. And that turns all that purple. And then we are going to go to the fill and move this down some. So therefore this is darker. Okay. All right. So next, we are going to create our buttons. So I found a tutorial. Actually, I found this on here on YouTube. I cannot remember the person's name who created this video because I would love to give props to her. But you can create your own button through Illustrator. So we're just going to create a circle, and I'm just going to take off my fill. Actually, I'm going to do 3 circles. And I'm going to zoom in because 2 of these circles are going to be the same size. And I'm gonna align all of these to where it, whoa, what happened? Select all of these at the same time. There it is. All right. And then I press the horizontal align center. And now I'm going to do the vertical align center. We're not going to do that. So horizontal align center, and I think vertical, nope, not vertical distribute center. Horizontal distribute center. And I feel I need to move this up. And I want to zoom in and make these smaller. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's see. Okay, so we did the horizontal align center. So I think that looks better. So now it looks like a button. Actually, that looks like a button. Okay, so, and I'm going to select these 2 lines, and I'm going to put the fill on these. So there's a way that you can kind of flip this to where the black is in the inside. And it's with this little swap fill stroke. And if you want to use the keypad, it tells you Shift X. So let me do that again. So I'm going to press this swap fill stroke or Shift X, and then it takes, oh, it flips it. And I'm going to get rid of my stroke. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of the stroke on here. Nope, we can't do that. Yeah, we did it right before. So yeah, gonna do this one more time. Swap fill stroke, press it, and then we are going to get rid of our stroke on this one. So therefore you just have these 2 black little balls, and I want to group these. And so we can change the colors. We can add in the color for our buttons. And I'm going to make these buttons yellow. So I'm going to group this. And I'm going to go over here. And while holding down Shift, going to minimize it. So one thing that I also want to show you all, and I'm just going to undo this. In order, because there are going to be some times where you're going to have to like minimize and maximize things when you do flats. So when you minimize it, you want to make sure that everything is still intact. So in order for that to happen, if you look on your toolbar, you'll see this preference button. Click that. And you want scale, strokes, and effects to be checked. Once scale, strokes, and effects is checked, press OK. And then you're going to select, and it's going to stay in place, because if it doesn't, and I'm just going to go back, it's going to do some it's going to look really iffy. Like certain lines are going to be bigger than what it's supposed to be. You don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go back to preference, make sure scale, strokes, and effects is checked, and then press OK. So therefore, when you have to minimize it, everything will still be intact. Then we are going to move this, put it here. Actually, we can put it up here since our button is going to be up here. And we're going to zoom in. And I'm looking at this and it looks like a little emoji. So if you don't want to copy this, if you don't want to keep copying the same buttons, what you can do is select this, and I think I'm going to add to, no, you're not going to add to library. Oh, I know what we're going to do. I'm sorry, I had a little brain freeze. So something that, not layers, not asset, nope. I think as an object, I've done this before. Okay, I know what to do now. All right, so we're going to go in our swatches, and then we're going to go in symbols. And actually, it's already added in our symbols. So yeah, if you add this in the symbols, you're going to drag it, and then it's going to be name symbol, and then you just name it whatever you want. So yellow button. And then for extort type, you're going to change it to from movie clip to graphic. And then you're going to leave it the dynamic symbol and just press OK. So of course this name already exists because it's already up here. So if you want to continue to use that, instead of you just copying that same thing, you'll just drag. But of course, in this case, I want it to have it already minimized. So therefore, we can just use it. So yeah, it was already in here. So we're just going to copy. I'm going to zoom in. And in order for our buttons to be aligned correctly, I'm going to select all the buttons and then go to horizontal align center. And we're going to make sure everything is aligned. So I did horizontal align center. We're not going to do vertical because of course it's just going to snap it into one spot. But we are going to go to vertical distribute center. And that distributes all of the buttons evenly. And then we're going to go to horizontal distribute center. And so all of our buttons are even and they are distributed the correct way. So we already have our front of our shirt completed. I'm going to copy this and group it. So now we are going to work on our back. So as we did before, we are just going to remove all of our front details. And of course, we are going to remove this, 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 and this, and these two. And because there are no darts in the back, we are going to get rid of this. So what I like to do, we are going to add a straight line to the back, and I use the line segment tool, and I'm holding down shift and then just making sure it's straight. So I'm adding this straight line on here because this is our yoke. And if you look at a shirt, every button down shirt has a yoke. And then of course I made an extra line for our stitch line. And I changed it to 0.25. And we are going to make a V shape. For our back pleat. And then we can go to the variable width profile and change the shape of our line. And I feel that we need to move this down now. There. Okay, so now we have our back yoke with our back pleat. So now the last thing that we have to do is work on our collar. I'm going to change that back to the uniform, use our pen tool, and then we're just going to create a line. I'm going to kind of make a slight curve. So this just shows our collar folded. And then we are going to create another line right here, because this is basically our neck stand. And then I want to copy this line because This is our stitch line. And we can move this up some. Okay. And we have our back. Actually, what we may have to do is create our placket. So in this case, we're going to do like the invisible placket. And I'm going to copy this line, transform, reflect, okay, and just basically move that over here. And one thing that you can do, if you really want to make it look like there is like a little detail in it. Gonna use the scissor tool. So what I did, the scissor tool is usually an eraser tool, and you'll see the knife tool. So I'm using the scissor tool. So it's basically cut into that line. There it is. I'm moving this side. Why will it not do what I wanted to do? Okay, you know what? And then I'm going to use the pen tool to close that. And I'm using the direct selection tool to fix this up. I'm bringing this over. Okay. And the reason why I did that is because I want to make it look like it was a flap. And then we can just go back to our symbols and create and pull our button. And you can put one right here. Actually, I'm gonna put it right here. No, that won't look right. We'll put two, one right there, one right there. And of course, we'll have to do the same thing for the other side. So yeah, we're going to use our scissors tool again, cut. Here. And then Now this one did it perfectly. And then I'm going to use the pen tool and close that in. Okay. And I feel that I might have to make this a little bit longer. I'm going to move this over. And there. And I just want to look at the other side. Yeah, I'm going to make that longer. I'm going to have to make that longer. That looks a lot better. And then I feel like I should just take these and copy it. And I click both of these I'm holding down Shift to select both of them at the same time. And I'm using the Alt key to copy it. And I just dragged it. And now I'm going to move these over. So I'm using the hand tool to move these over. And then, of course, I am going to go to Transform, Reflect, press OK. And therefore, I could just stick this right here. Okay. So, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. And we have our back. We have the back of our shirt. And if you want, which you probably won't, I'm just going to zoom in here. If you want to like make this really uniformed, you can change the line of it, but of course it really don't look right to me, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. So just like the last time, I'm going to open a new file, new, and we are going to change this from points to inches, and I'm just going to make the orientation landscape. And if you don't already have these, you can go to print, and then it'll have the templates up here: letter, A4, print large, legal. And then you can go, of course, use all the presets. So we're going to do letter. We're going to change it to landscape, change from points to inches, and then create. And I am going to group these. Select both of these shirts. And then it's going to automatically go on the other page. Now, of course, you want front, back. So in order to make these more even, I am going to go to vertical align center. Let's see, vertical distribute center, horizontal distribute center. So it is perfectly centered. And we're going to move this down some. And then I'm going to use the type tool. I have my type box So we're gonna name this front. And I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make the font on this 20 and bring that in. Okay. And I'm gonna copy this. Why is this 2? Okay, and I'm gonna, of course, put back. And I'm going to title this Button Down Shirt. We can use the paragraph. And I feel that I should make this 40. Make the font 40 on here. Because of course, we're definitely gonna bring this down. Okay, so there you have it. This is how you create a button-down shirt. So this is option 1, and we will be going over option 2 some other time. So if you like this video, please click like, please share it, please subscribe to my channel, Ashley D. Love. Thank you very much, and I will see you all next time.